All right, we're visiting with the head coach of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas Skating Rebels, Anthony Vigneri-Greener. We're talking state of the Rebels. We're going to recap the season, talk a little bit about the future. So, Anthony, first of all, welcome back. It's been a long time no see, and tell me a little bit about the season.
Season went well. Definitely proved some people wrong.
Right.
Didn't give us a chance. Finished in the top 15. Made it to nationals. These were all goals that the staff and I set for the boys early in the year. We knew what kind of team we had coming in. So success so far. Proud of my staff, proud of the boys that put in the work, and then the community. That's the biggest thing. Our community came together. We had a tough October as a community, and they all banded as one. And just definitely proud. That would be an understatement.
Talk about the jump from ACHA D2 to D1, and you guys took the role of going independent, which gave you the opportunity to play a lot of good teams. So tell me how that jump was for you. How did it work? Is what you expected?
Yeah, the transition, this was one of our goals. So we had brought in kids at the Division II level that could play at this level, and then we went out and got 19 new kids. And the first week, I'm looking at Z and Nick and Jeff, and I'm like, wow, it's a huge pace change.
Right.
And but the kids we brought in, like we seen after that first week in ASU, they can handle themselves. We were competitive all year long. There was no blowouts. So the game of ACHA, it's extremely, the talent level is high. I mean, they got some kids that should be playing, on rides in Division I level. So the transfer was good though. We did a good job. Nick did a great job. Jeff came along this year. He's doing a good job this summer. Z did a good job as well of bringing in kids that could play at that level. And recruiting this year is going just the same. Everybody's doing their job on the Hunt and the AJ and the BC and all over. So we got everybody's talking to different leagues, and things are going good so far.
So obviously the transition over to CNA didn't hurt either, and I'm sure it's not hurting recruiting right now either.
No, that was a big push last year. We brought in recruits and we walked the facility. They did a great job for us, showed us our room and the office and what the rink was going to look like, where the restaurant was going to be, and just the area it's in. It's downtown Summerlin. It's a beautiful area. There's tons of restaurants and the mall. So that definitely helps recruiting. And the kids, every kid that I've recruited this year, they've seen, all the social media of how many people get in that place,
Right.
Get anywhere from 700 to 1,500 people in that place, and there's a standing room only, and we score a goal, and it's, the mall can hear it next door. So
Right.
Those are all things as an 18 to 23-year-old kid who wouldn't want to come here and play.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about the games along the way. You played some big ones. You had Minot State, you had Jamestown, you went to Ohio. Tell me how the team fared against them.
When we went to Ohio, we were, we didn't play our best hockey, and that was from top to bottom. Our goaltending wasn't good, our D forwards. So I knew redeeming ourselves in nationals was going to be better. When we played Minot at home, I felt like we were peaking at that time. Everybody was running good. Our goalies were hot. The D were active. We were moving the puck. We were pinching the right times, and the forwards did an unbelievable job getting pucks behind their D and creating scoring chances. And we ended up beating Minot for their first loss of the year, and then we lost to them with 32 seconds left. And you couldn't ask for much more for our first year. It was a great weekend. We were peaking. After we went to Minot, coming back our first road trip back, and it was our first games. You can tell it was our first games. We were sluggish. I don't know if it was we needed more preparation or less time off on our break, but those are things you learn from. But overall, I can't say anything bad about it because not a lot of people gave us a chance to even compete in those games,
Right.
and let alone win. We beat Jamestown, we beat Minot, and those are the games that we were supposed to get blown out at. So overall, definitely, like I said, proud.
So you guys finished a couple of times, well, not finished, but a couple of times you were in the top 10 of the ACHA, which now that you played in the ACHA D1 National Tournament, what was that competition like?
Every team we knew going in was, you go there and there was no weaknesses.
Right.
The depth, that's the main thing I will say in Division I and Division II. There's depth in every team at this level. So they're your top 6 forwards, you have your top 2 D, and then they fill in slots of role players. So they have like a third line that's good in the D zone and face-offs, and their fourth line brings energy. And every team has that. And at the Division II level, you don't have that. But going to the national tournament, you've seen it just in big, bright, wide open eyes that every team deserves to be here. They're here for a reason.
Anthony, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the future and go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We'll be right back with Anthony Vigneri-Greener. All right, we're back for another segment with Anthony Vigneri-Greener at UNLV Rebel Hockey, the Skating Rebels. And Anthony, let's just talk. I know we have to touch on it because the season was what it was, but you guys started off in the new building, had all the excitement. Then, of course, we had the tragedy of 1 October, and you guys had to deal with that personally. I know you were there, right?
I was.
And of course, we had to deal with Nick, but not only that, but the whole community. And it seemed like not only for your team, but also for the community and the Golden Knights really wrapped their arms around recovery, didn't they?
Yeah, it was great. It was a time where the whole city came together, and you don't always see that. Vegas is a good city with good people, but like you don't see that 24/7. For that month and 2 months behind that, I mean, everybody was just anything they could do for anybody. They were doing it, and it's great to see. And I was glad that we were a part of this city. Our team was a part of the city, and then the Knights took off and they ran with it, and they helped the city more than a lot of those guys will ever know. And I think Ingo did a good job with his little speech before the game, and that gave people chills and goosebumps, and I think that set the tone for the whole city. And thanks to him and him writing that speech, he did an excellent job.
So you guys were not only playing for yourself, but you were really playing for the entire probably state of Nevada and certainly the city of Las Vegas when you played this year, more than you probably will in any other year.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often. It was a tragedy. We as a staff came to just let the boys know, like I said, when they were interviewing me throughout that whole month, it wasn't about X's and O's. It was about going out there, just compete for Nick, compete for all the victims and the tragedy, and then give the community and who are fans just 3 hours of just fun they weren't thinking. I know personally myself, I would go to the rink and it was like a release, escape. I got out and I didn't think anything else. I was around, all of our kids and the staff, and I have a good time. That's my second family. I'm around them a lot, so it was an escape for me to go, and it was just a distraction. And I know it helped me personally. Tons of people emailed me, talked to me, pulled me aside, and said, "Hey, I really appreciate what you guys did for the city." It was just a distraction, and the boys handled it really well.
So much happening in Vegas with the Raiders coming here not too long from now, and the Golden Knights really securing a spot with clinching the playoff berth, and now you guys on the rise. And let's talk about the future. What's the future hold for UNLV?
The future is bright. I think start out with recruiting. Like I said, my staff has done an excellent job so far. It's still early, but we already have 4 kids committed already. It's not even a month after the season. We don't have a lot of holes to fill, but that's a good thing. Other than that, for the city and our program going forward, once the stadium deal gets done, maybe the AD can focus more on the hockey team and go from there. I know her main focus is the football stadium for the football team, and the basketball team's on the rise, and the other, golf has always done a great job. The cheer team and the soccer team have done a good job. So our hands are full, but I think once the stadium deal gets done, then she'll be able to focus a little bit more on us. She came to a few games that I know of, and she's seen the community come together and how much support we get, and for the numbers we pull for a hockey team, she was really surprised.
And when we talk about the hockey numbers, one of the things that the Knights and you guys have done together is grown the youth level. You guys have been out in the community a lot with the Knights and working with them and having street hockey and stuff like that. So that's been a big build too, hasn't it? Seeing those kids with the hockey jerseys on.
Yeah, the Knights have done an excellent job from before they even started the season. They had, like you said, the street hockey is just hockey fundamentals, and now they're learning to skate. They got like 124 kids equipment at the youth level. I think they're all 5 years old. So you're going to see an explosion like you did in California and Arizona of numbers hockey. Instead of a kid saying, "Hey, I want to play baseball," he sees the Knights on TV. Hey, I want to play hockey, and the Knights are giving him a great opportunity to do that, because hockey is an expensive sport, and if they're making it reasonable, it's, you know, you're going to see a hockey explosion. And our kids, and they brought in a guy named Matt Flynn. He's done an excellent job. He's their youth coordinator, growing the game, and he loves having our kids out there helping any way they can, and a few of them are getting summer jobs out of it, so it's benefiting everybody.
Can't beat that. Tell me a little bit about what the schedule looks like coming up. Have you guys started to put a schedule together yet, or is it too early for that?
No, Z's done a really good job. I couldn't tell you all of our games. I know we have really hard road trips right now. I know we're going to Illinois, going to Minot again. We're going to play Stony Brook and NYU. We're going to New York. So definitely there's going to be no cakewalks like there was this year. There was nothing easy. Everything's going to be a dogfight and compete every night, and you've got to bring your A game Friday, Saturday, whatever nights we play. And I think that's the way it should be, especially that's why we stay independent. We can play teams in the top 10 every other weekend, you know, what we need. We're going to go down to Arizona and play Brownie's team. You know, he does a great job with his. And then also U of A, we're going to play them again on the schedule. So, you know, Z's done another good job putting a schedule together.
So when we talk about ACHA hockey, the obvious choice or obvious question comes in is how they do fundraising. How does it do financially? It's a battle for you guys, right? You have to go out there and work, don't you?
Yeah, no, Artie and Z are kind of spearhead that, and they do a really good job. You know, it's a full-time job. It might not seem like a full-time job. It's a full-time job. They go to bat, you know, their phone calls, emails, constantly getting the community. Any of all of our donors do an excellent job coming out supporting any way they can. And then this year, really, the gate really helped a lot.
Right. Well, being able to have a gate, really, right,
yeah,
for the first time?
Yeah, to have a gate that was ran that well and have that amount of people show up. You know, you can have anywhere from 700 to 1,500 people, and we had the T-Mobile game. I think there was like 2,500 people there, you know. So those are all benefits to us that could help us down the road. And then they do a good job of setting up fundraisers. Like we have a golf tournament every year. We have a raffle, a huge raffle every year. So these are things that help us along the year. So down the road, we don't have to charge a team dues, which is fairly low this, you know, like I said, the last couple years it's been low, but hopefully down the road we don't have to charge them anything, and they come here and, you know, everything's done. But the kids here, they get treated really well. It's ran just like a Division I program, how we travel on the road, and hotels and buses and flights and food, equipment, you know, they're treated well here.
So let's talk about those kids. Let's talk about the players before we wrap it up here. You can tell me a little bit about, I know you told me you're losing somebody pretty special to the team that it's hard to see him go, but he's getting a big time offer, so give us a heads up on who that is.
Yeah, easy. Elijah Brigas going to get a full ride to AIC. It's great for him. I'm proud of him. Like I told you earlier, the kid, his hockey IQ is through the roof. So he deserves it. Hate to see him go, but if he's going to better himself in any way, I'm all for it, you know. So AIC is going to get a hell of a player. But you know, we still have a great core group. You know, you have
the young core group, right?
You got Kuzi coming back, and he's a great leader. That kid put his body through the ringer for us. And we have Benny coming back. He stood on his head back there. And Cody Williams. And the list goes on how many guys we have coming back. Gordon and Chase and Boz. So our D core is good. And then the recruits that we're getting. We already have 2 D3 transfers coming in, committed to come back home. And that's going to help our D core. And then we got kids like Pearson that his potential level in this league is through the roof. So a kid like that next year, I really expect him to take off next year. He's got 1 year under his belt, just like the rest of the team. They know the flow of the game, they know the pace, what we expect in and out, and the sky's endless for them. Like I told them at the end of the year, the future is bright for UNLV.
So let's wrap it up on, again, a little bit of a somber note, but I know she's a fighter. Your trainer, Kendall Galore, is going through some tough times at the moment. I know you guys have stepped up to try to help her out in her battle, and is her brighter human being than her?
No, Kendall, she's been great to me the last 3 years. I met Kendall right before I got hired on here. She's works with the boys nonstop, on the clock, off the clock. So for her to she kept it between her and her family for over a year and a half, and she hid it well. I mean, she'd come on road trips, and nothing ever affected the job. If a kid needed something done, she got it done. So I hope people band together and come together and can just chip a little bit of money towards her and help her in any way she can, or even if they can't give money, just send her a text message and positive vibes, and I'm really big onto that. Nothing but good things for her.
Talk a little about, if you can, about what her status is right now. What's she going through? Where is she going? What's the next in the?
I can't. I don't want to say anything that I'm not supposed to.
Right.
So I know very bare minimum on the situation. I know she had her first surgery, and she needs to go back to UCLA. So I do know that, and she's there currently. I don't know anything else. Like I said, anything we can do to help her.
And that's a GoFundMe account, right? People can find
GoFundMe. It's on the UNLV Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, and then a lot of us have posted it on our private accounts. So anything we can do, and if it's not money situation, it's just maybe a positive vibe or a prayer for it.
Absolutely. Anthony, I appreciate your time as always, and we're looking forward to a big summer and a big fall with UNLV hockey.
I appreciate you.